Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first video, hi, I'm Alaina, and this is The Organized Money, where we talk about planning life and managing money. In today's video, I wanted to dive into how I use my planner for learning. So I just recently posted that I am going back in order to become a certified financial therapist. If you've never heard of the term before, it's basically where you help people with the emotional side with money, along with the knowledge about money. So since I am going back and I have to take coursework now, I do have a new section that I put into my planner where it is basically my learning section. So currently I am reading this book. Now this book is not associated with my work that is required for the certification. This is something that I am just reading in my spare time. However, it is helping me understand a lot of the coursework that I have. So this is something that I wanted to kind of show you and share how I am taking notes and kind of learning more from this book. So this is the book I am currently reading. It's called The Body of Money. It is by Gail Coleman, and it is basically helping you kind of tie how your body currently feels to how you spend and relate to money. So it's a very, very interesting book. I will leave it linked below in case you wanted to pick this one up from Amazon. But let me show you how I am taking notes from this book. So like I said, I created a new section. It is a bottom tab because it is an insert, and it is my learning notes. So let me show you what a blank page looks like. This is a blank page, and basically at the top here we have the title. This is where I will write the book title, the video title, whatever it is that I am currently looking at. I will add the title of that here, and then we have the date so that I can keep track of when I have read this particular information, the topic, the creator or the author, the location, and also the summary. So my location is usually where I will put if it was a YouTube video, or if it was a book, or if it was a blog post, whatever type it is, wherever I am getting this from. If I read it, if I heard it, if I saw it on Instagram, that's where I would put that. So let me show you what it looks like within my planner. So this is how the sheet looks. As you can see, I wrote the topic of the book here, and then I wrote the date that I started taking these notes, the topic of what we were talking about, which is how the body relates to money, the author of the book, and then I also wrote in a little bit more about the book, like what exactly it was about. I put a picture here just because I had a spot here for that. If it wasn't a picture of an actual book, sometimes I will leave it blank, which I can show you another one where I left it blank. That's because it wasn't from a book. And so this just gives me option if I do have a book that I wanted to add. I love to add pictures because it just gives me a great visual. After that, I really start to add in my notes. Now, the very front page here is where I will kind of just jot down the main topics of different things that I am talking about from the book or that I read. If I read something that's really, really interesting, I will write it down and then I will highlight it. And I'm also going to add additional notes within parentheses. Sometimes these are notes just from what I am thinking. Sometimes they are notes from the specific book that I am reading. But being able to kind of write everything down and add my own little notes here and there really, really helps me to intake the information. So I am just writing things down as I am reading. If something stands out to me, I will kind of highlight it, or I will add arrows or parentheses, just different things that really, really help me as I am learning and reading this information. On the back, another thing that I will do is draw boxes around different parts that I feel like are super important. Like I said, I will also draw arrows, but I'm using the back here to really process and lay out way more information. On the front, I have lines. It's a line page where I can add in additional things that are going on, but on the back it's completely blank. And I did that on purpose so that I had space to do mind maps or to really draw pictures, whatever I needed to do in order to make sure that I was intaking the information. So here I underlined certain parts of it. I drew a box around something that I wanted to remember because I thought that this was super interesting. And basically what the book was saying in this part is that when your body is in fear, you have a hard time learning new things. So if I am trying to teach you about money and your body is in fear because you have a fear of survival or you fear you're going to be unable to do something, then it is almost impossible for you to learn about that topic. So we have to move past the fear first. And so that is why I drew a box around this part, because I thought that that was super interesting and I wanted to come back to it and make sure that I remembered that piece of information. The same thing down here, I wrote in red here because I wanted to remind myself that intuition is the left side of the brain and knowledge is the right side of the brain. I feel like it's something that I wanted to make sure that I could go back and recall, because both the intuition and the knowledge is how we learn about money overall and how we're able to make better financial decisions. So I continued on the next page, and this is where I just wrote in the exact same information as I did on the very first page. And then I just continued to write in the different notes that I am getting from the book. Once again, I'm highlighting different parts. I am drawing boxes around things that I wanted to remember. I write in red when I really want to highlight something, or I will draw graphs or pictures to myself, because once again, it really does help me to remember. So adding this sheet into my planner and adding a learning section to my planner really does help me when I am trying to process different pieces of information. And the great thing about this is that as I am continuing to read this book, because I'm actually not that far in, I was like on chapter 1 or 2 within this book, and I am already getting so much from it that I will just continue to add pages behind it. So I will pull out this page and then I will pop it in. So then that way, all of the notes that I am trying to process from this book will all be together. And so I can just continue to do this as I am reading the book. And then I was reading another ebook in here as well. And this one was more spiritual when it comes down to your business and your spirituality. And so I started to take notes on this one as well. And so once again, I did the cover. I also wrote down where I got it from. And then I started to write down my own notes. I love using these pages this way because no matter if it's an ebook, if it's a physical book, or if it's an email, this I got from an email that hit my inbox, and I thought the information in it was helpful and I wanted to remember it. So once again, I just wrote that it was from an email, and then I started jotting down the notes. I highlighted the different parts that I thought were super important, and then I just continued to write additional things on the back. So I know this is a short video, but I wanted to share this sheet with you all because I do get questions on how I add notes into my planner, and this is one of the ways that I will do it. This is because with books, I do want to keep all of the information together, and sometimes when it's in a planner, I found myself, if I was reading a book and it crossed over into a new month, I found myself struggling with where to keep the notes for the book because I wanted to keep them all together. So for this, it's not a planner, it's an insert that I can just pop in, and I can add as many sheets as I need so that I can keep all the notes for one book together. And then for my notes section, the way that I can use this is for additional meetings or other things that I needed to kind of keep track of. I could just kind of write it down in here, because most of the times if it's a meeting or if it's a video that I am trying to post or work on, or an article that I am working on for CNET, then for the most part, all of that is going to be done within a few days. My meetings are about 60 minutes, and this planner helps me to know when I had the meeting because I can kind of write down my meeting days on here. and it also helps me to know the notes from that particular meeting. So that's the difference between the two sections. With my notes section, these are meeting notes. These are notes that I need for a particular time frame, but usually it's with a day or two. It's an article that's going to be posted within 2 to 3 days, something like what I would be working on for CNET Money. I'm currently working on a back to school article, and these were my notes for that article. The articles are usually within a week that I have to get them out and over to them, so I don't need these notes to last for months. However, with my learning notes, I might be reading this book for 2 to 3 months because it takes me so long to get through it, because I am taking my time. I want to make sure I am absorbing the information and I am taking as many notes as I possibly need to process this information. So guys, if you wanted to get your hands on this learning note sheet as a download or as a printed sheet, then you can check out the description box below. I will leave it linked there to my Etsy shop, and I will see you all in my next video. Y'all let me know in the comments below, how are you currently learning? How are you processing information? Is there a particular system that you are using within your planner? I would love to hear from you, and I will see you all in my next video. Until then, keep organizing your life so that you can achieve your dreams. Bye guys.